After the dust settles, the preppers all unalive themselves. There'll be the unlucky few left to walk the wastelands, surviving by any means necessary. The base for the food boat is going to be this broken toy. Now, I've already used some bits from this for my Firefly spaceship. So the base looks like a boat, and I've already added some plasticard for the flooring. I'm not too worried about the damage on the bottom of this boat, as it'll be covered up with these, which I do believe are drink pourers. Now you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So I'm just going to chop the top bits down to leave me with those little bits, which will become the hover exhaust for the boat. But more on that later. I ordered some cheap model kits from my local hobby store. Now, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the name, but it comes with some figures and the food oven, which is going to be part of this build. So I need to start building something. I have to admit, it felt strange having to follow instructions to build the oven, but I did it without any drama. I switched back and forth between super glue and extra thin cement for no real reason. It's how I work sometimes, until we have the completed oven. I also made the carriage where the figure sits, then worked out where everything should sit. I didn't glue anything down, as I still had one kit to build, a 20mm cannon, which I thought would look cool in this post-apocalyptic world. Again, I followed the instructions to build this cannon. I also noticed that one of the main model bits had broken, which isn't very good. It wasn't a problem, as this is a kitbash, so some parts won't be added to the final construction. This kit took some time to build because of the small parts fighting with my chunky monkey fingers. So while I do that, I'll throw some names up on screen from subscribers who left comments. If you want to have your name appear, leave a comment with the code word, like, and be a subscriber. Also, bribes work if you're not a subscriber. I'm joking. Or am I? So the main cannon pew-pews went on without a hitch. I didn't glue them into place, as the gap was snug enough, allowing them to move. I repositioned everything so the cannon could sit nicely on the seat, and then the oven could go at the front. Happy with how everything looked, I'm just going to make some adjustments to the underneath of the two models so they all sit flush. And yes, that is one of the other halves nail files that I'm using. I decided that the pew-pews would look best sat positioned on the carriage, and after a few little minor tweaks, the oven finally took position. Next, I drew my attention to the bottom of the boat and the drink pourers come into play. I wanted it to look like it could hover, so after I sanded everything down, I glued each drink pourer into place. I added more bits and pieces to the top of the food boat, not forgetting to add the base of the pew-pew gun to the bottom of the boat, just because I wanted to add some more detail. While I added additional pieces, a story started forming in my head. What if the food boat was also a trading post? And the unlucky soul who owned the food boat was capturing unsuspecting people and using their skin to cover his own skin to make him feel more normal. Hence, the title for this build became apparent: The Skinwalker. For the base, I used an offcut of XPS foam and broke out the clay to cover the top surface. While the clay dried, I broke out these skeletons from Green Stuff World and got to work tidying them up, ready for painting. Using a mixture of black acrylic paint and Mod Podge, I painted the base. While I do that, it's code word time. Put this code word into your comments so I know you got here before zipping to the glamour shots. And the code word for this build is Jimmy. After covering the clay, I'd actually found my crackle paint I thought I'd long thrown out, so decided to give it a go. This should crack the paint when dry to give it a rough appearance. I sped things along using Jeff, my hairdryer that's been with me since day one of this YouTube journey. So say hello to Jeff, that's the Jeff, the hairdryer. I also use a little bit of wet brush just to reactivate the paint, and then it was on to doing all the little accessories. Because most of them are just metal, I'm just going to paint them with a base colour of black and then dry brush them with silver. Now this is something I want to try and improve on this year, and that's painting figures. This is our skinwalker. I modified him off screen with a little green stuff putty and gave him a lick of paint. For the skeletons I used some bone coloured paint, just painted them all over. I set the figures aside and concentrated on the boat, which I'm just priming black. I'm going to use light colours to paint the boat to make it look dusty and worn. And then to give it that dirty look, I just went over it with a little dry brush of silver. To make the boat rusty, I used Vallejo's Rust Effect paint. This goes on a little bit brighter, but does dry darker, hopefully. I tried these Green Stuff World self-adhesive stencils. Mixed results the first time I was using these, but I think the potential's there. I think it was just me being a doofus and got it all wrong. They're supposed to be reusable, but I very much doubt that. You stick the stencil on and then just dab it with some paint. That's what I did, and it bled through. So I had to go back in with some of the rust just to cover up some of the bad edging. But in the end, it turned out okay. I was happy with how the base came out, and I'm just poking holes in it just so I can add a little bit of foliage. I add the clear acrylic rods where the boat will appear to be hovering and give it a little test fit. Perfect. I go back in with some more rust paint just to highlight certain little edges and stuff like that. And then I add the skeletons. These unfortunate souls have had an encounter with the skinwalker, as I thought, in keeping with Soylent Green's theme that food is people. I gave the base a blast of grey just to give it a little bit of highlighting, and then went over the entire model with a little spray of sand just to dirty everything up. I tried to speckle the boat with some mud by just flicking the paint over the model. Now these are lights specifically used for putting inside balloons. By a happy accident they were the same size as the drink pouring hole, so I added them to the build. And next is the glamour shots. So as always, thanks for dropping by, I appreciate your time, and until the next build, keep scratching that build everybody. Thanks for watching.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn, no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no luck, everything feels like you're sticky stuck. I'm lost, handcuffed to the bed where I sleep, don't give a fuck.